Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/AckleyTackTV to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey folks, I'm officially going to be attending Retro GameCon Spring Edition this year, taking place at the new Elite Gaming Arena at the Atrium Building over at Clinton Square up in Syracuse, New York on Saturday, May 17th from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. I'm going to be there all day and I'm going to be cosplaying as Amber from Genshin Impact. So if you see me there in person, then by all means come on up to me and say hi. Hope to see you there.
Hello, I'm Ackley, and aside from me being a well-known content creator on YouTube, I'm also known for putting together some pretty awesome cosplays. And a lot of that may be is because I actually do own a really good number of them. Now I'm not just talking about the normal varieties such as sci-fi and comic books, I also mean the incredible kind from stuff like movies, TV shows, video games, and anime. And I love the hell out of them. I enjoy looking like the characters I dress up as, and whenever I wear one for either a convention, a photo shoot, or anything else in particular, the experience was well worth it. So I'm doing a series talking about, well, everything revolving around cosplay. We're gonna go over everything ranging from some of the new ones that I've put together, what you can do to actually be a really great cosplayer, and to see if the experience will be well worth it. So sit back, relax, and get your sewing needles ready, because this is CGS, aka A Cosplayer's Guide to Success. Not bad. Not bad at all. I do hope it will be put to a good use somehow. Oh, hi! Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't see the hero. So, anyways, hey guys, this is AckleyTack4427 here, and welcome back to another episode of CGS, aka A Cosplayer's Guide to Success. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, what exactly I'm holding, you may ask? Well, believe it or not, this is, of course, pretty much a 5x7 print of course, me cosplaying as Amber from Genshin Impact, for sure, holding holding my nice Baron Bunny plushie that I got beforehand because, well, I'm actually using this as a bit of a display to showcase that I'll be soon selling prints of course, me and my cosplays for sure, so... Alright, let's put you back here, yeah, there we go. So yeah, I guess it is quite fitting that I've actually shown that as part of course, my brand new vendor table that I just completed well over a month ago for sure. As you can see from, of course, my pictures that I've actually revealed, and from one of my recent short form videos that I posted well over a month ago for sure. So yeah. I actually brought that up because that would lead to, of course, one certain topic that will, of course, pretty much does revolve around cosplay, yes, given to, of course, all the ones I've actually shown off here. But there's actually more to it than just that, guys. Yeah, I guess since cosplay can, of course, be an interesting hobby, and quite an expensive one, when you really think about it, did you actually know that cosplay as a whole, that you need to get them going, that you can actually earn money for once doing all these for sure? Well, that's of course what we're talking about here today, so yeah, I guess for today's episode of the show, we're actually going to be exploring more on, of course, what it's like to do cosplay as pretty much a job and a career in a nutshell, so yeah, and I don't mean just something that you do as a whole for, of course, a regular old hobby. No, I mean something that you can actually earn money from, hands down, so yeah, that's of course what we're going to be talking about for today's episode of this show, so yeah. And I have been thinking about doing this for quite some time now, for sure, and well, ever since I actually did the last episode, of course, how to be a cosplay judge, that I actually had to put together last minute, well ahead of Syracuse Collectors Con. But I hope I might redo that with some help from, of course, my friends pretty soon, if I'm actually pretty lucky. I figure that for today's episode, we will explore more, of course, pretty much, of course, what it's like to do cosplay as a job and a career in a nutshell. Something that pretty much that you do what you do normally when, of course, a convention will officially roll around. But something that can actually earn you money big time for sure. Something that can help help you out, and of course paying your bills and your rent, and of course plenty of others, so that way it can help you survive in a nutshell, so yeah. And that's of course what we're going to be diving into here today, so yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into this topic. Alrighty then, well, now that we got that out of the way, we can now go ahead and answer the question, well, what does it take to actually make cosplay a job and a career in a nutshell? Well, through my careful research, I did manage to come down to at least 5 factors by far that could really help out on that. With the first one being, of course, well, building a strong online presence. Now I guess for that topic alone, well, I may be well known on the internet ever since 2008 for sure, which has been a long time when you really think about it for sure. That alone is, of course, something that can really help you out when it comes to pretty much making cosplay a job for sure. So yeah, with today's modern society of the internet for sure, you don't have to rely on just conventions that can really help make your cosplays well known for sure, especially with, of course, the amount that you actually got right here. Pretty much the internet can also help you out in a nutshell for sure, so yeah. And that will, of course, range from everything, like, of course, pretty much creating a website and a profile for sure, where, of course, pretty much you can actually make a very strong website for sure, of course, yourself and your cosplays for sure. Or I guess in this case, creating your own online profile that can really help showcase your cosplays and your skills on, of course, how you actually made them and how you actually presented them at conventions for sure. So yeah. That alone is, of course, one thing that could really help you out. Another thing that can also help you out on, of course, that front, which is, of course, the usage of social media for sure. Now, that, of course, that, that alone could also pretty much make or break, of course, what you actually need for sure. So by utilizing all sorts of different social media platforms, like, of course, pretty much Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, just to name a few, it can really help connect your audience and really help expand your reach for sure. So, so by using that alone, I think it can really help benefit you, of course, where you need to be to really get your name out there for sure. And another thing to really bear in mind is that in order to actually do that, you also have to post some consistent content by far, which is, of course, well, pretty much regularly post some really high quality content that could really help engage your followers and actually use relevant hashtags that would that could really help benefit, of course, what you're cosplaying as for sure. So yeah, by doing those alone, hands down, I think it could really help benefit, of course, getting your name out there and give you some massive exposure, of course, what you need to actually get your cosplays out there for sure. I've actually pretty much done that with, of course, the good chunk of ones I've actually been using, and trust me, that will really help in a nutshell for sure. Alright then, so that's actually one factor done hands down. The next one is, of course, another interesting thing that a lot of people have mixed feelings about, and that being, of course, well, offering services and products. So yeah, that is, of course, another thing that could really make or break, of course, what you need by far to earn a massive income for, of course, your cosplay career for sure. So, and these actually range from anything in particular, like, of course, offering commissions for other cosplayers who really want to work on several costumes for sure, or want to try a cosplay that they've always wanted to do. So yeah, plenty of cosplay websites and stuff like Easy Cosplaying FM Anime, for example, really do exactly that. But I guess pretty much some standalone cosplayers can do that too, which might actually be very exhausting for the most part for the person working on those cosplays for the commissioner. But at least the end result will still come out great, and by doing that alone, you can actually offer to create custom costumes or props for plenty of others, hands down, to which that can really help in a nutshell for sure. So yeah, and another thing you can do is, of course, offer some tutorials and patterns, of course, what you need for, of course, for anyone who wants to work on their own cosplays for sure. So by creating and sell your own lineup, of course, tutorials, patterns, and ebooks for a cosplay for sure, that can really get you on, of course, where you need to be for sure. And again, those actually range from, of course, pretty much the patterns and stuff for the costumes, or maybe some things to make the props that you need, hands down. And that's just to name me a few. So yeah. And of course, another thing you can actually offer is, of course, pretty much selling some nice merchandise for sure. So by designing and selling your own lineup of merchandise for, of course, you in your cosplays, I think you're going to be in good hands. And these actually range from, of course, t-shirts, stickers, and, of course, given to, of course, what I've shown off earlier, maybe some really nice prints as well. So yeah, and that's another thing where my vendor table that I've now completed, and I hope to bring to future conventions that I'll go to later on, will definitely come into a play. I actually have a good chunk of cosplay prints that I took the time to actually put together by far, and I do hope to sell them for, of course, some really good bits of money for myself, hands down. So yeah, but that would depend on, of course, if the convention or event that you will go to will let you do that hands down. Some of the other ones probably wouldn't let you hands down because there might be some paperwork and stuff that you need to take care of that will let you do that. But I do hope that would change over time, hands down, so yeah. But either way, that's another good example of course, what I actually mean by that. And another thing you can do is, of course, pretty much sell your old cosplays hands down, so yeah. I guess pretty much of anything, selling old cosplays, you might actually think it would take away part of your cosplay history. Well, that's not the case, hands down. Plenty of cosplayers out there is looking to do plenty of other cosplays hands down, and some of the old ones that they've actually put together are starting to not fit them anymore, or of course they're starting to get worn out, or maybe you don't have enough motivation anymore to really put good use of them anymore. That's just to name me a few, hands down, so so yeah. But by selling them, of course, whether it be letting people know on social media, or of course on social media, yeah, of course, yeah, whether it be social media or of course on platforms like, of course, Poshmark and of course Etsy, they can actually be used to sell old cosplays, wigs, and props hands down. So, so yeah. So if there's one cosplay that you don't want to put to a good use anymore and see someone else actually pretty much put to good use, then I think you should be in good hands to actually sell them hands down. So yeah, like one good example is that I can actually give is of course pretty much of anything. Yeah, I think give it to this hat that actually fell off for sure. Yeah, one good example is of course pretty much when I pretty much did Barbara's Summertime Sparkle outfit for sure. Now this hat that I've actually shown off as the example is actually a part of course, the main costume that I got off of Pro Cosplay, and for a while I think they did a good job, hands down. I wasn't really satisfied with the way I actually tried it on for sure. So I am looking to actually maybe selling that said costume alone to someone else who would actually put it to a good use in some way, just so that I can replace it with the one I found off of FM Anime for sure, just to see if it'll be any better. So yeah, I do hope that might happen later on down the road, hands down. But that's another good example, of course, what I mean by that, hands down. So yeah, but either way, I think offering these kinds of services, yeah, some people have mixed feelings about some of them, but those are also beneficial to, of course, pretty much in getting where you need to be, hands down. Alright then, so yeah, for the third factor, hands down, that's where the internet would definitely come back into play for, of course, this one. And that being, of course, pretty much the third topic on how to make cosplay into a job and a career for you, which is, of course, by pretty much leveraging online platforms, hands down. So yeah, that alone is, of course, another thing to really bear in mind for, of course, all of that. With what I said earlier about with today's modern society of the internet really helping you out and, of course, making cosplay a career for you, hands down. That alone is, of course, another thing to bear in mind, hands down. And these pretty much range from anything in particular, like, of course, pretty much opening up a Patreon and a Ko-fi page, for example. So by using crowdfunding platforms to collect donations from your fans, you're going to be in a really great spot to really help you out and, of course, really get you where you need to be to work on any future ones that you want to do. I've been using my Patreon for about a couple of years now, hands down, for sure, and so far, I think with the amount I'm getting each month being rather small, hands down, it's still helping me out, of course, getting where I need to be personally, for sure, so yeah, by far, I think that alone is, of course, not only helping me out with, of course, most of my cosplays, but also my videos here on my YouTube channel as a whole, for sure, so yeah, it may take time, yes, but I think it's actually well worth it regardless, so yeah, and speaking of course, YouTube and my channel as a whole, that's of course where that and Twitch would also come into play as a couple of good examples. So by creating and sharing your cosplay content, of course, these platforms as a good example, it could potentially lead to, of course, monetizing your platforms and stuff through ads, merchandising sales, and even sponsorships, hands down. So yeah, and that alone can be very tricky, of course, on that front, because for Twitch, it does kind of vary, hands down, though. Technically, it has been a while since I've actually live streamed on there, while for YouTube, that would, of course, be a different case, hands down, because with what's been going on with YouTube through its monetization program, whether it be, of course, relying on the COPA Act in order to pretty much protect the kids using that platform, and even channels getting demonetizing stuff and not making any money whatsoever, hands down, because, well, a lot of soccer moms now want to make YouTube be like network television. I don't get it either, so. But hey, I think with, of course, pretty much that front, depending on, of course, what video content that you might actually put up, whether it be long form or short form content, hands down, for sure, I think that could easily pretty much earn you a massive income, hands down. Now, I guess it's no big surprise because I have been on YouTube for, well, almost 17 years now, for sure. And despite the fact that I never actually enabled monetization, of course, on my channel as a whole, I've still been keeping myself relevant, of course, pretty much, of course, the content I've been posting drastically on that Sega channel, for sure. Hence why I've been seeing a massive boost in views and subscribers as of recently, which really does help in a nutshell, so yeah. That's pretty much a good example, of course, on that front. And another thing that can actually occur, which is, of course, well, pretty much also pretty much adding website ads and affiliate links, hands down. So by pretty much inaugurating ads and affiliate links on, of course, your website, for sure, it could also help you generate income as well to get you where you need to be. Of course, let's not forget to mention, a lot of people on social media can actually be described as influencers, so, and that's where influencer platforms also come into play, for sure, so yeah, by, of course, partnering up with, of course, some brands and stuff to promote their products or services, hands down, that alone could really get you on where you need to be, hands down, to really help you out, of course, on that front, hands down, so yeah, that's pretty much what I could say for that matter, hands down, so yeah, I think to really help take good advantage of course, online platforms, hands down, that could be another good example, of course, where you need to be, hands down. Now, the fourth factor, of course, that front is pretty much an easy one, hands down, but I think it also does come into a play for sure, because speaking of course, bringing your cosplays at conventions, for sure, that's where the fourth factor actually comes in, for sure, so yeah, and that being, of course, well, obviously enough, convention appearances, hands down, so yeah, working on cosplay is one thing, but bringing your cosplays to a convention is actually a very rewarding experience, hands down, so yeah. And And of course, there are some instances where, of course, you don't need to go to the convention themselves, hands down. They can actually pretty much come to you, hands down. So, and that being, of course, one good example of being paid guest appearances, hands down. So yeah, going to a convention by yourself is, of course, one good thing that you can do. But if you really want to get yourself a really good guest appearance, hands down, always try to aim to be invited to a conventions as a paid guest, hands down. Like, of course, you can actually offer to host some panels that you want to do, or maybe judge their cosplay contest, and even do some autograph sessions, just to name me a few. So yeah. That alone is, of course, one good example, of course, that front for sure. So yeah. And I guess it's quite obvious as one good example when I went to a Syracuse Collectors Con well over a month ago, hands down. Pretty much, if anything, I think I did have a really great time, hands down, being the judge of their cosplay contest, hands down. But I did get some really good stuff that really helped benefit that, hands down. Like, of course, I actually got myself a nice table to actually pretty much get everything revolving around cosplay and sign-ups for the cosplay contest going for sure, especially, of course, letting us actually bring our business cards and everything that we could give out for free to really help, of course, get our names out there for sure. And I actually did that very well with, of course, Jelly Pup and Zircon Momotaro when I was actually there by far. And it doesn't actually stop there, hands down. But they also were kind enough to give us food vouchers at the same time. Like, of course, pretty much, if anything, you don't need to pay money for the food themselves. Just bring the food voucher to, of course, the people giving you all sorts of food and drinks and stuff, and the convention will pay that for you, hands down. So yeah, that's the one thing I really do love, hands down. I'm really glad they were kind enough to actually let us have that for sure. So, which actually does show that not only the conventions themselves are kind enough to still give you a good time like regular old attendees, but they also want to make sure you're well taken care of, hands down. So yeah, that alone is, of course, one good example on what I mean. And of course, give it to that subject matter for paid guest appearances, hands down. That really does help benefit in the long run. And that leads to, of course, another good example, of course, that from, which is, of course, well, you can actually network yourself, hands down. So by using conventions as opportunities for yourself to network and build your brand, you're actually going to be in a really great place where you need to be, hands down. And that's why my media kit actually really came into play, hands down, because, well, it's not only a really great way to, of course, get your name out there and build your brand, but it also serves as a really great resume for, of course, conventions and stuff to really get yourself booked, hands down. So yeah. And since I've actually have that up for several months now for sure, I do hope it'll be put to a good use for when I'll actually be booked for one convention that'll be coming up later on down the road. So yeah, only time will tell on when that will actually happen for sure. But I think you're gonna be in a great place. Like, of course, you'll still go to conventions, yes. But I think you're still gonna be in for a really great time. Pretty much being one of the guests there, hands down. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for that factor, hands down. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much all four factors, of course, helping out, and of course, making cosplay a job and a career for sure. But there is a fifth one that I do need to bring up, and that being, of course, some other tips that could really help you out, and of course, accomplishing that goal and would lead you to success. Like, of course, when it comes to making a cosplay, hands down, you always have to focus on quality, hands down. So yeah, pretty much of anything, pretty much give it to that front, hands down. Quality is pretty much serves much better over quantity, hands down. So if you strive to actually create some cosplays and content, of course, that level, hands down, that will, of course, lead you, of course, where you need to be, hands down. And, of course, pretty much of anything, you can always market yourself, of course, where you need to be. So as cool it is to, of course, still do what you do normally, you still need to get your name out there for sure. Like, of course, you have to actively promote your work and actually, and, of course, your services online that could really help you out in a nutshell. And another thing that could really help you out in the long run for sure, which is, of course, well, you have to be patient and persisting, hands down. So yeah, building pretty much a successful cosplay monetization strategy does take up a lot of time and effort for sure. But we still have to remember the good old-fashioned phrase, patience is a virtue. So you really need to bear that in mind, hands down. So yeah, and of course, to top it all off, you don't want to be stuck making cosplays as a whole for sure, because another thing you can do is, of course, well, consider getting a day job for sure. So yeah. Even though I guess pretty much making cosplays takes up a lot of time and money, and of course you want to earn money from that, you still have to be like everyone else and actually get yourself a job, hands down, that could also earn you money to get you where you need to be for sure. And I know that's pretty much the case on my front, hands down. Like, of course, I've been working every single week over at Area 51 in the Crow's Nest Online for almost a couple of years now for sure. And I really liked what I need to do for, of course, that front. Like, I still pretty much chatting, hang around with, of course, my coworkers, hands down. But I also work hard to really earn myself a massive paycheck, hands down. So that alone could really help you out, and of course, getting everything that you need to make your cosplays a reality for sure. So yeah, that alone is, of course, one thing to really bear in mind, hands down. So if you can do all of those on top of everything else that I've actually mentioned, I think you're going to be in a really good place on where you need to be in a nutshell for sure. So yeah. And so yeah, I think with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say for this topic, hands down, for sure. So yeah, I guess overall, I guess pretty much of anything, it may sound like a lot of hardworking effort to really make cosplay a job or a career, hands down. But that's one thing to really bear in mind, hands down. So yeah, you can actually start cosplay as a hobby for sure, while of course you do some stuff on the side that can really keep you occupied, hands down. But as time goes on for sure, and you really start getting where you need to be, maybe you might be in a position to, of course, to finally say to yourself, yeah, maybe I think I should probably turn what I'm doing currently into something I'll actually get paid actual money for, hands down. So yeah. And I know a lot of people would probably say otherwise because, well, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there that would definitely say you cannot make cosplay a job, hands down, because, well, what's that gonna lead to, hands down? So, but trust me when I say, I think go with every other cosplayer who has actually done that, hands down. They're in a great place, hands down. Like, of course, they're not just still working on some new cosplays that they want to bring to conventions, hands down, but they're like us human beings. Whenever we pretty much get out of bed, get some breakfast, get into our car, head on to work, pretty much do what you need to do for your job, and of course once your shift is over, you go home, and of course you get some sleep, and well, when the next day comes, the whole thing starts over again, hands down. So yeah, pretty much of anything, cosplayers who actually make cosplay into a job, hands down, are just like us, hands down. So yeah, I guess about anything, unlike pretty much say a real job, hands down, for of course cosplay, I guess pretty much of anything, you don't feel overworked or underpaid, hands down. You don't get berated by, of course, your boss, or of course, get laughed at by your coworkers. And more importantly, I think that will, of course, lead to one benefit, hands down, is that you want to become your own boss, hands down. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, that's what I could say for, of course, that front, hands down. So yeah, and of course, pretty much of anything, those who have actually made cosplay into a job and a career for themselves, hands down, they've achieved some really great successes that will lead to much bigger rewards, hands down. So by doing that, hands down, I think that will, of course, really help you out, of course, on that front. And trust me when I say, given to how long I've actually been producing content on YouTube beforehand, to, of course, doing all sorts of cosplays for well over a decade now, hands down. Maybe I'm starting to be in a position right now where, of course, I can actually say, yeah, maybe I think it's time that I transition out of cosplay being a hobby to making cosplay into an actual paying job, hands down. Something that I can actually earn money, hands down, for sure. So yeah, and that's exactly what I hope I will do, hands down, for sure. So yeah. And luckily enough, I do already have an expansion planned out, for sure, given to how well, of course, my Patreon has been doing for pretty much a couple of years now, for sure. So yeah, I do hope I would finally put that into motion, hands down, with, of course, some massive help from my parents, for sure. So yeah, and if it actually works out well, then I think I'm gonna be in the right place, hands down, because, well, let's face it, time is changing and art is changing, hands down. And I still know, on my part, cosplay is also art, hands down. So yeah, we'll definitely see what comes up later on down the road, for sure. But for now, I think with, of course, everything that I need to say, maybe I think it is the perfect time right now to, if you are in a position to grow even bigger, hands down, maybe go from something that you would do on the side as a whole to something that you can actually pay some good money for. And of course, if you can actually do that, always remember the good old saying, walk out the door and don't look back. That's, of course, what really matters, hands down. And I guess on that thought alone, I think it would be a really good way to, of course, end this episode right here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest episode of CGS, for sure. And by all means, let me know down in the comments down below on what you think of this episode as a whole. I would love to know on what you guys think. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest episode, for sure. And, well, I guess now that I finally got that out of the way, I think it'll only be a matter of time on what topic I might talk about next for the next episode for sure. But I'll let you guys know on what would actually come up hints out. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Now, if you'll excuse me, I guess I give it to what I've actually got right here. I think I might as well now see about getting my cosplay prints that I've already got on standby out to the market for anyone who for me to actually sell those for sure. But you kind of get the idea, so I do hope to put my new vendor table to a good use somehow, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that. Take care, guys.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyTackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is AckleyTack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyTackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.